right?
Again, Your Honor, I only know of the confidential funds because I was the one who drafted the replies to the AOM.
Yes, correct.
But prior,
Mr. Ortonio, that is precisely what I'm trying to point out. That partly you know about the confidential funds,
that's
and
cor-
in accordance with what was delivered by Attorney Lopez, lumalabas that wala siyang alam at ang nakakaalam partly of the confidential funds, ikaw, Gina Acosta, and the President and the Vice President. Tama?
Again, Your Honor, I would like to qualify my answer. Yes, I partially know about information on the confidential funds, but only because I drafted the replies to the AOMs. Prior to the AOMs, I do not know of the activities that where the confidential funds were
Yes,
used.
I understand that Mr. Ortonio. Now, nung pumunta po kayo ng land bank, no, at inangkas niyo po yung pera together with Gina Acosta, alam po ba to ni Attorney Lopez?
I'm not sure if Ms. Acosta mentioned this to.
But you are
Attorney-
the Assistant Chief of Staff.
Yes.
And this is your responsibility to tell your boss that I'm going to encash a 125 million confidential funds. So, alam ba to ng COS ni BP?
I did not mention this one to.
So, wala siyang alam.
As far as I know, Your Honor.
So,
she
hindi
does not
alam
know.
ni Lopez, ni Zoraika, that you're going to withdraw 125 million.
Personally, Your Honor, I did not mention it to her.
Bakit hindi mo sinabi?
Because the role of having to encash the check, Your Honor, is with the SDO. And this is already with the instruction or in coordination with
But
the Vice President.
would you agree with me that being the COS and a deputy COS, you have the responsibility all over your subordinates? Am I correct? Di ba, ako chief of staff eh. Ako responsible sa boss ko eh. Now you're going to withdraw a 125 million without you telling the chief of staff?
Again, Your Honor, I did not inform Ms. Attorney Lopez during that time.
Talaga hindi nyo in-inform or itinatago nyo lamang si Attorney Lopez?
Again, Your Honor,
Wala bang information o wala bang direction o wala bang directive to protect the COS at all cost?
No, Your Honor. No.
Okay. So, nung pumunta kayo sa land bank, hindi niya alam at hindi kayo hinanap ni Attorney Lopez kung bakit kayo wala sa opisina. At walang malay at walang pakialam si Zoraika kung bakit wala kayo sa opisina. And when the 125 million were brought doon sa opisina, wala pa rin alam si COS. Is that what you're trying to imply to this representation?
That I cannot answer, Your Honor, but again, as mentioned earlier, during that day when we encashed the money, I did not mention it to.
So talagang
Attorney Lopez.
paninindigan nyo na si Attorney Lopez ay walang kinalaman doon sa 125 million.
As far
Confidential funds.
As far as I know, Your Honor, I believe she is not aware of.
At wala
how the
siyang alam.
activities-
Kasi yun sinasabi niya, wala siyang alam sa confidential funds. Lahat. Di ba? Correct?
That's correct, Your Honor. And same way with me, Your Honor, prior to the issuance of the AOMs, I did not also know of any of the activities where the confidential funds were used.
Okay. So paninindigan niyo talaga na walang alam si Attorney Lopez. So I just wanted to show you something. Ito po ay no September 4, 2023, hearing sa Senate Committee on Finance with regard to the OPP's proposed budget for 2024. Panoodin lang po natin yung clip. In this particular segment, the Vice President Duterte was asked by Senator Risa Hontiveros about the confidential funds. Para makita po natin kung may alam po ba talaga si Attorney Lopez o wala doon sa confidential funds. Because I believe that the COS knows about all the confidential funds, especially yung pondong ito na napakalaki pinagtatakpan nyo na wala siyang kinalaman. And remember, Mr. Ortonio, you are under oath. You are under oath. You are the assistant COS. Alam nyo na alam ng Chief of Staff ng Vice President ang confidential funds. And I will show you why. Sige, labas po natin.
Ang mga activities po na ito enumerated sa joint circular ay gagastusan ng confidential funds ng office nyo, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, it varies. Not all the activities are the same for each day and each month. The liquidation of the confidential funds includes the enumeration of the uses of the use, the Office of the Vice President. The confidential funds report, the joint memorandum circular requires the confidential fund report submission to the Office of the Vice President, the Senate President, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, and the Commission on Audit. And we submitted the list of activities to these offices.
Thank you, Madam VP. Mr. Chair, I'll get to the liquidation end report also later. So just to clarify, Madam VP, since confidential funds refer to those agencies related to surveillance activities undertaken by civilian government agencies, ibig po bang sabihin na yung opisina ninyo will be gathering intelligence on certain subjects or entities in support sa inyong mandates o mga operasyon, Mr. Chair?
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, that is correct. As an example, we did surveillance of complaints from constituents in Bulacan with regard to the selling of OVP assistance and the selling of tupad projects in Bulacan. And there was a surveillance operation that was run by the VP SPG for about a month, and we were able to apprehend the person, and we were able to successfully prosecute the case, and that person went to jail for ilang months?
6 months.
For 6 months.
All right.
So that is an example of the surveillance activities that is conducted by the VP SPG for the projects and activities of the Office of the Vice
If you
President.
will notice in
It was
here,
in Bulacan.
Mr. Chairman, Attorney Lopez was always nodding, and at the same time whispering to the Vice President about the detail of the operation of the surveillance, particularly in the province of Bulacan. Having said that, that he was on top of the situation regarding that incident that happened in Bulacan. So much to say that alam din niya ang lahat ng detalye noong confidential funds. Now, tell me, Mr. Ortonio, walang alam si Attorney Lopez sa confidential funds?
Your Honor, if I may be allowed na to explain, I
Hindi,
think...
sagutin mo muna, then I will allow you to explain it. May alam ba si Attorney Lopez about the confidential funds? Having seen, yung kanilang investigation doon sa Senate about an incident, a detailed incident about the operation of the confidential funds in Bulacan, particularly. And that guy, Mr. Baloro, asa si Mr. Baloro, you were always nodding about the pronouncement of the Vice President. So may alam sila di ba? Now tell me, may alam ba si Attorney Lopez? Yes or no? And then I will allow you to explain.
Your Honor, I cannot answer if Attorney Lopez knows of the activities where the confidential funds are being used.
You have seen,
but as
Mr.
far as
Mr.
I know,
Mr. Ortonio, you have seen that video, di ba? The
Yes.
video will not lie. That the Vice President were asking about how many months, di ba? Sabi ni ni Attorney Lopez, 6 months. Di ba? And she was always nodding about the statements of the Vice President. So, action, di ba? That speaks louder than words. Di ba? So, may alam ba siya? Wala.
Again, Your Honor.
Based on what you have seen.
Again, Your Honor.
Based on what you have seen.
Again, Your Honor.
Meron ba siyang alam sa confidential fund? Particularly on that issue?
Again, Your Honor, as far as I know, she does not know of any activities as she has mentioned.
Okay, you're trying to be evasive, Mr. Ortonio. You're trying to be evasive. We are warning you.
Again, Your Honor, can I give you a little bit of context on the video that was shown? Can I, Mr. Chair?
Sige, go
Yes,
ahead.
please continue.
Yes. The matter that was shared earlier, the one kung saan na merong clip na pinakita during the Senate hearing, that case was actually reported to the office that we received that there was an incident where a person was pretending to be from the office of the Vice President and nangihingi ng pera sa mga recipients, and it was reported, and we were able to share it with the VPSPG, and they were able to conduct surveillance and monitoring activities. That's the context of the clip that was shown. However, as to whether the confidential funds were used for that activities, again, I cannot answer for that, or I cannot answer if Attorney Lopez knows if that certain incident used confidential funds for the monitoring and surveillance of such incident.
Okay, I will show you a letter. Can we show the letter of the COS and also of the Assistant Chief of Staff? Sulat sa COA. Because in here, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Ortonio, kayo sumulat ng letter na to, di po ba?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And your signature appears on this, di po ba?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Alright. So, sino nagpapirma kay Attorney Zuleika Lopez? Ikaw?
After I got information from the SDO and from the security officer, and after having drafted the reply, yes, I had it signed to our Chief of Staff.
So, ikaw ang nagro-route ng letter na yan?
For this specific letter, Your Honor.
So, it
That's
passed
correct.
through this SDO?
It did not pass through the SDO, but the information indicated in the letter came from the SDO and from the security officer, Your Honor.
So, with that letter, signed also as well by Attorney Zuleika Lopez, may alam siya sa confidential fund.
Again, Your Honor, a little bit of context. She may know because of the information that was shared, but
She may know.
because of the
Because she signed the,
yes,
di ba?
yes.
So, hindi mo pa rin sasabihin sa amin na alam niya yung pinirmahan niya? Her being a lawyer?
Yes, Your Honor. Alam niya
You
kung
drafted this letter?
yes, I was the one who drafted the letter po.
So,
Your
hindi si Zuleika ang nag-draft nito, kundi ikaw?
Honor. No, Your Honor.
And then, pinapirma mo sa kanya? Without
Yes, Your
that, her reading the content of the letter?
I'm sure, Your Honor, she read the letter.
So, alam niya. O
Again-
kasi sabi mo, I'm sure, she read the letter. So, alam niya.
Yes.
So, may alam siya sa confidential fund.
I believe, Your Honor, based on the letter reply that we drafted,
So, may alam siya.
based on the letter
And that's the
that we
reason why I'm
drafted,
asking you a while ago kung meron siyang alam. And now, in this letter, you agree with me that she knows about the confidential fund. So, in other words, Mr. Tonyo, Attorney Lopez was lying.
Your Honor, I cannot say that Attorney Lopez lied.
Sinabi mo na kanina na may Nabasa niya eh. Kung nabasa niya, alam na niya ang content. Hindi naman bobo si Atty. Lopez eh.
Yes.
She's an intelligent woman. Lawyer nga eh.
Yes.
Eh, di ba? And the one that, I think when ako na-involve, 125 million, I will read it diligently, di ba? Kasi it involves a lot of money. Eh. Di ba? Alam mo, Mr. Ortonio, alam namin na nagsisinungaling ka. Pero nagpipigil lang po kami. Ayaw na po namin mag-cite ng in contempt dito. Pero, ramdam po namin ang pagsisinungaling niyo. Huwag na po. Tigilan na po natin. And kayo na rin nagsabi na alam niya. Di ba? Nabasa niya eh. Di ba? Sana sinabi mo na lang na pinirmahan lang niya at hindi niya binasa. That I will accept. Pero sinabi mo, binasa niya eh. So kung binasa niya, naintindihan niya, alam niya ang confidential fund, then she was lying. Yes?
She knows of the information, Your Honor.